Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. My name is Justin Copeland. On this channel, Stay Fresh Productions, we talk about everything dealing with fragrances. If you like that kind of content, if you have an interest in learning more about fragrances or just fellowshipping about our love for fragrances, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, which gets you entry into the Fresh Squad, the freshest squad here on YouTube. You will elevate, enhance, improve, evolve your freshness, and you'll feel it, and others will smell it. Now, it is that time of the year. It is my favorite time of the year. We're talking about fall fragrances. Now, if you missed this video, I don't know why you missed this video. Leave me a comment and tell me why you missed that video. I gave you a little bit of a preview into some of the fragrances I was going to be talking about for the upcoming fall season, but I did so with a little bit of a twist by doing a blind sniff and rate with Grace and her three sisters, and we had a phenomenal time and it was hilarious. And there was some curveballs in there. So if you missed that video, please watch that video. It gave you a preview into maybe just a couple of these fragrances, but now we got the whole list here. This is our designer list. We will be doing a niche list. We will be doing a cheapie list, and I'm gonna be taking a slightly different approach to my niche list. It's gonna be a little bit of a surprise. I'm trying to change things up a bit, so stay tuned for that. But fall is here. We're talking about fragrances that fall into a transition point of the year, so they do kind of straddle. They have a little bit of freshness for those warmer days with those lingering summer temperatures, especially during the day. But for the evening, when things do cool down, some of these might have some deeper, warmer, sometimes sweeter elements. So it makes them, again, straddle both worlds perfectly, so they do function very well for this time of year. Some are fresher than others, and the fresher ones are going to be great for those more warmer days that still kind of linger on. But we have a little bit of something for everybody, so let's jump right into it. Honorable mention. I love this stuff. I had to put it in here. Unfortunately, it did not do well in the video I just referenced. And it's something I've talked about a lot, and I'm trying to bring you guys new stuff as much as I can, so I'm putting it here as an honorable mention. John Varvatos Vintage. This is a staple on my channel. This fragrance is idiomatic to Stay Fresh Productions. I still love it. I still will be wearing it this season. I haven't worn it a lot in the past couple years, but still a love for me, still an easily recommendable fragrance from me to you guys in terms of a great designer scent that's not going to cost you a lot of money, that's going to smell different, and it's going to smell quite refined and elegant. So still recommending this. Going to have links down below to everything. Check out Vintage if you've been sleeping on it. Okay, here at number 10, we have a little bit of a hypocritical choice. Acqua di Gio Profumo. Yes, I know. If you saw my overhyped series, this was a poster child of that series. And yes, I still do believe this fragrance is overhyped. There's plenty of other wonderful fragrances in this genre that do just as well or do things differently and don't have you smelling like every other guy out there. Because believe it or not, if you wear this fragrance, you not only smell like everyone who's wearing Acqua di Gio Profumo to the average person, you smell like everyone who's wearing Acqua di Gio to the average person, because they have the same DNA, and people who don't care about what we're doing here have no idea. They're not going to be able to tell a difference. They're going to think you're wearing Acqua di Gio. Doesn't mean they're not going to like it, but you are going to fall within the realm of smelling like a lot of people, maybe somebody's dad or uncle or ex-boyfriend. If that's what you want, cool. But it does smell good, can't deny that. This is a great freshie for the slightly cooler weather. It has a darkness to it. It has more oomph to it. It has better performance for a freshie. I see why people love it. It's just too popular for me, but it's really good, easy to wear. You could wear it day or night. You could dress it up or down. Super versatile stuff. Can't deny that. I had to pick it up. I would be remiss if I didn't own it. But Acqua di Gio Profumo, I might be giving this some wear this season, but it's at number 10 because it's not my favorite, but can't deny it. Good stuff, easy to wear. Up next, we have another choice from Armani, which I did not plan, but here we are nonetheless. This is a new release from last year. It's more of the same, but I don't know why I expected anything different. Honestly, this is Armani Code Eau de Parfum. Essentially a stronger, richer version of Armani Code, but as other people are saying, it is what Armani Code used to be when it first came out. And again, smells great. Aromatic, sweet tonka bean, maybe some vanilla. Not a whole lot of dimension to the scent, but simply pleasant. A little bit of a seductive edge, but still has a touch of a freshness to function on those slightly warmer days, but I would not wear this in the heat. Not my first recommendation, obviously, is at the bottom of the list here, but it smells great. If you liked Armani Code, the original, it's worth checking out the Eau de Parfum if you want something that performs better. I still prefer Profumo, but I'm gonna save that one for the winter time because that's a beast. But I'll give it some more wear, I'll get to know it better. That's Armani Code Eau de Parfum. Here at number 8, a fragrance that is probably gonna surprise some of you for being so low and might even make some of you mad, but if you're getting mad, you need to look in the mirror and figure out why you're upset about someone else's opinion on a fragrance. Anyway, Tom Ford Ombré Leather. I enjoy this stuff. It's new to my collection. When it first came out, I was not moved by it. I actually didn't like it much at all when it first came out, maybe like 3 years ago, and I haven't looked at it since. On the paper, not so great. On the skin up close, and there's something even on my skin that's kind of papery about the scent. It doesn't have this richness that I really want. Maybe Tuscan Leather kind of has that, but I did give it a full wearing and I actually was enjoying it. It lasted very well. I wore it to a wedding gig and it did very well and I found it enjoyable. I still will be wearing it. Maybe it'll move up the ranks as I keep wearing it. It's still pretty new to me, that's why it's so low, but can't deny it's a good scent and I'm glad I have it. Tom Ford Ombré Leather. Okay, up next, brand new to my collection, not what I expected, but a nice surprise from Lolita Lempicka. You don't hear much about them. I have another fragrance from them coming in. It should have been in like a week ago, but FedEx, I don't know what's up with them, but it should have been here, but it's not here yet. It probably would have been on this list instead of this one. But we're talking about Green Lover. I think a release from 2019. Again, you don't hear about this house very much. This is delicious. This is green, yeah. You have mint, you have juniper berry and gin combining together. You get a little bit of a gin and tonic vibe. In fact, you get it more on paper than you do on the skin. It's very fresh, it has a sharpness to it, has an invigorating nature to it. So it is green, but you have mandarin orange and some spice, and you have vanilla. And that vanilla is the most prominent here. You get vanilla and musk in the base, and it brings this creamy sweetness to this very fresh green but orangey profile. So ultimately it smells like an orange creamsicle. Orange and vanilla with a cooling freshness. Creamy but fresh. Very, very pleasing, very delicious. Quite a casual scent. I would not wear this outside of the daytime and I would pretty much only wear it in a t-shirt, but it smells really good. This is a great fresher option for those slightly warmer days. Again, it has a sweetness to it, so you can maybe transition it to the evening, but it's still pretty casual, so keep that in mind. But you can get it pretty cheap. I might be talking about this again on my cheapie list. Lolita Lempicka Green Lover. Number 6. This will always be a hallmark in my collection, especially in this collection that it comes from. I think it's still my favorite from this line. From the L'Homme line from Yves Saint Laurent, we're talking about L'Homme Ultime. Not the most quintessential fall fragrance, I'd say, because it is on the fresher side of things, but there's some nice warmer elements to it. You have rose, which is kind of the centerpiece here. It's a fresh, as they say, masculine rose, and I think what makes it that way is the spices and the woods that surround it. You have some ginger, you have cardamom, and you also have a lot of cedar wood. So dry, woody, spicy rose with a freshness and a touch of a sweetness. I wouldn't characterize it as a sweet scent. There's a little bit of apple in the heart, which I think gives a touch of a fruity sweetness, but it's very minuscule. Smells wonderful, great performance. Honestly, very unexpected from this line. I think it's discontinued, but I think it's still out there. Check this stuff out. I love this stuff, man. Really, really good. It's a shame that they don't produce it anymore, but get it while you can. Okay, approaching the halfway point, and oh my gosh, wow. It's been a while since I've worn this. This was a absolute love for me when I first smelled it. It's kind of waned since then because I've come across others in the genre that have been more interesting to me. But you need a fragrance like this in the transition seasons. You need a fougere. You need a barbershop style scent. They work perfectly for the spring and the fall. They straddle perfectly. They have a aromatic freshness, citrus and spices and herbs, but they do have a nice rich sweetness, tonka bean, maybe some vanilla, maybe some woods, and in this case leather. And we have to talk about At the Barber's from Margiela. a lovely scent. It was my first love from the house. I had to get it. It smells so wonderful. It smells like shaving foam. It's creamy, it's sweet, it's aromatic and fresh, it's spicy, and it dries a little bit leathery. Again, not the most interesting in the genre, but very solid stuff. Unfortunately, it is a little hard to get discounted, but I just found out the other day, I didn't know this, and it wasn't always this way. They make a 30 ml size of this now. It used to only be 100, but they make a 30 ml, which you can get for maybe around 70 bucks. So I would check that out. I'm gonna have links down below. But I love this stuff at the Barber's. Absolutely perfect for any kind of dapper occasions in the fall. Here at number 4, smells wonderful. Not my favorite from the line, but I think it is one of the most perfect ones for the fall time. It just conjures the feeling of fall. You have notes like cinnamon, you have notes like almond, you have notes like plum and heliotrope and tobacco and even leather. And how does all this come together? Well, it comes together in the package of L'Homme Ideal Extreme from Guerlain. It carries that slightly fruity, creamy almond kind of sweetness from the original. It's more of a plum than it is a cherry this time around, so it's a darker fruity experience. But that tobacco adds a touch of earthiness that comes to life more as it dries, and especially on the skin. You're not going to smell it here on the paper. A little bit spicy and warm from that cinnamon, which is beautiful. Adds some kick, so it kind of pushes the scent off the skin a little bit more. It smells wonderful. In fact, I'm liking it more and more each time I wear it. I still do prefer the L'Intense, which I will be talking about in the winter time. The Eau de Parfum version is really nice. I was between these two. I would recommend either one. I like them about the same at this point, but Extreme resembles fall a little bit more quintessentially. So that's L'Homme Ideal Extreme from Guerlain. Okay, we have to talk about a fragrance that's not for everyone. And this is that fragrance. This is a love it or hate it. This is polarizing. And this is Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Homme. Stunning fragrance. Honestly, kind of a masterpiece in the designer realm of things. I think it smells wonderful. I've loved it ever since I first smelled it. I didn't know I loved it at first, but I knew I couldn't get enough of it. I just was too afraid to wear it. Finally got a bottle years later, and I'm loving this stuff. This is leather, this is cypress, this is vetiver and patchouli. It is earthy, it is leathery, it is dry, it is woody, it is a little medicinal. This is not for everyone. There's not an ounce of sweetness in here. There's not an ounce of smooth creaminess in here. Doesn't smell delicious. This smells like a man, I guess a lot of people would say. It smells very rough and rugged, but if you dress it up, it can be very elegant. It can be very commanding and authoritative. Something that's going to get attention from people. They might not give you a compliment, but they will remember you. And I think that's more important, because compliments are fleeting. People will forget that they even gave you a compliment. But if a fragrance impacts them so deeply that they are too afraid to say something, that makes you even more memorable. So again, dare to be different. Gucci Guilty Absolute. Okay, here at number 2, brand new release. I'm loving this stuff more and more, and a lot of people are. And it's funny to see some of the hate and the pushback that has been directed towards reviewers like myself for loving this fragrance. People were thinking that Dior was paying us or something. Yes, this is from Dior. No, Dior was not paying any of us. We all had to buy this with our own money, and we all seem to like it. Yes, it's a coincidence. They do happen. From Dior, this is Sauvage Elixir. This revitalized the Sauvage line for me. To put it very simply, each Dior Sauvage rendition gets more mature. The Eau de Toilette, great for the younger guys. Eau de Parfum, a little bit more mature, but still carries that kind of juvenile freshness in there, but a little bit spicy and sweeter. The Parfum, now we're getting towards more mature territory, but it's still very much Dior Sauvage. This is the least Dior Sauvage of the flankers. It's in there, it's tucked away, that lavender kind of metallic freshness is there, but the metallic nature is toned way down. It's replaced by an almost barbershop quality, kind of a rich, sweet, kind of almost vintage smelling quality. People say like Dracar Noir. Kinda, I could see that. It's sexy, but it's elegant. and performance is a little bit too strong, honestly. So go light on this, but I think it's worth sampling or at least trying in the store. It is very expensive for what you get. I do admit, yes, overpriced, 155 bucks retail for 60 milliliters. Designer, okay, all right, but worth trying if you can. That is Dior Sauvage Elixir. And at number 1, another fragrance that I wouldn't say is for everyone. Not quite in the same vein as the Gucci, not quite that polarizing, but there's elements of this that people will love or some people will hate. And I think mainly being cumin, because not everybody likes cumin as a spice. It can be a little bit stinky, a little bit like BO. Fortunately, it doesn't smell like that to me at all. And this does get me some compliments when I dress it up. Cartier Déclaration Parfum. Easily can get swept under the rug or can go under the radar, especially next to Pasha de Cartier, which I'm saving for the winter. But this is wonderful. This is the original DNA, that bitter orange cardamom combo, maybe with some leather, some herbs in there. So it's spicy, it's citrusy, but it's not all that fresh, I would say. And this takes it to the next level by adding resins. It's darker, it's deeper, it's a little sweeter and warmer. Still a touch of a fresh spiciness from the bitter orange, from the cardamom, but there's much more under the surface with this one. You can even tell by the juice color. Something that I think you can only really pull off at night. While the original was a little bit more of a signature scent, I would reserve this for the evening times when you're dressed up. I wouldn't even wear this. I might have to put on a nice plain shirt with a nice collar, maybe with a tie. The more you dress this up, the better it will serve you. But again, if you don't like cumin, you may not be a fan of it because it is in here. But I'm loving this stuff. That is Déclaration Parfum from Cartier. Okay, that is my list. I want to know what you think. Are there any of these fragrances that you love or that you wear or that you're looking to get? Please let me know down in the comments. If you like the video, please like the video. It means so much to me. Helps out with my visibility across YouTube. And please join the Fresh Squad by subscribing. I don't know why you wouldn't want to enhance your freshness, especially if you've made it this far. And once again, stay tuned for my future fall videos, especially the niche one. I know a lot of you guys will skip that. But if you're watching this, I urge you, I plead, I implore you, don't skip it. It's going to be different. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, but I have a vision in my mind and it's going to take me some time to put it together, but it should be special. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.